ladies and gentlemen, people who identify as both or neither, people who are non-binary. I'm here today to talk to you about reproductive rights and how they tie into everyday human rights, how they tie into everyone's human rights. What I want to do more than anything is show you how to approach a topic with compassion for both parties involved. But before I get to the compassion, I'm going to have to share with you a couple of cold, hard facts. So, bear with me, these are a lot of facts, and they may seem a little unrelated, but I promise you they all tie in an insidious web. So first, number of women who die each year due to complications during pregnancy or childbirth, 289,000. That translates to about 800 per day. Women currently enslaved for forced sex and or labor, 11,500,000. Number of untested rape kits in the United States alone, 400,000. In the US alone, an estimated 32,101 pregnancies result from rape each year. 31 states allow rapists to sue for custody of children conceived by rape. 31. And Georgia, unfortunately, is one of them. Number of U.S. universities currently under federal investigation for mishandling cases of sexual misconduct, 55. 10 to 25% of all clinically recognized pregnancy end in a miscarriage. Number of years in Indiana court sentenced a woman named Purvi Patel to prison for having a miscarriage. 20 years. 20 years. There have been over 330 million documented cases of forced abortion since 1970. Women forcefully sterilized. Right here in the United States, doctors under contract with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation sterilized nearly 150 female inmates from 2006 to 2010 without uncoerced consent. Each year, between 50,000 to 100,000 women worldwide suffer from an obstetric fistula. Now here's the question, do you know what a fistula is? Because last time I asked a crowd that, it didn't go well. Not many hands went up. And that's the scary thing. Not many people know. A fistula is an injury retained during birth, an obstructed birth, where the tissue is just crushed down and blood flow to it has ceased. So it starts to slide out as dead tissue. So there's this hole between the birth canal and either the bladder or the rectum. So just urine and feces just pour out of these women's vaginas. And meanwhile, that's a risk in childbirth that you will never hear a politician talk about when talking about making tough decisions. Try making your own. Cost of an abortion here in the United States is $490. Cost of complete maternal care is $15,000 to $25,000. Average cost of raising a child to 18 years old in the United States is $245,340. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to focus on abortion for a second because a lot of people really want to just get rid of it, pretend like we don't need it. But women need it a lot for their maternal care, for their bodies. You know, they need to not die from pregnancies that go really, really wrong. But there are a lot of other abortions not related to that. And there are ways to reduce that without violating women's human rights or making laws telling them what they can or cannot do with their bodies or pregnancies. The key is to prevent the pregnancy in the first place. So things that actually help. complete comprehensive sex education. This has been proven. I'm not talking abstinence only. Abstinence is a part of it. You tell people they don't need to have sex if they don't want to, because it should be about want. It should be about desire and connection, instead of something flimsy. But complete comprehensive sex education is very important. They need to know about their contraceptives, what they can use, what their bodies do, and they need consent education, which is missing from the majority of sex education in the country. Then easily accessible and affordable birth control of all kinds. Don't limit, offer more options, things that do their job quicker so that you're not talking about an abortion. Affordable maternal health coverage. You saw the difference. An abortion is much cheaper. And I'm not saying make it more expensive and then throw economically underprivileged people under the bus. I'm saying make maternal care less expensive so more people can take on that cost, because it's people of lower economic status that are going to have the majority of children anyway. And then consent culture. What we live in right now, globally, is called entitlement culture or rape culture, in which scores of men all across the world actually feel entitled to either touch women whenever they want, have sex with a woman whenever they want, whether they're consenting or not, or try and decide for a woman when, where, how, and if they're going to reproduce, which it also shows up as forced sterilization and forced births. Now, as far as that proof of what I was saying before about these things doing better than, say, trying to close clinics, which doesn't do anyone any good, researchers studied the National Survey of Family Growth to determine the impact of sexuality education on youth sexual risk-taking for young people ages 15 to 19, and found that teens who received comprehensive sex education were 50% less likely to experience pregnancy than those who received abstinence-only education. Because they knew that what they were doing. Now, a study that gave women in vulnerable areas their choice of birth control for free found that abortion within that studied population dropped from 19.6 abortions per 1,000 women to 4.4 to 7.5. And the teen pregnancy rate dropped from 34.3 births per 1,000 women to 6.3 per 1,000 women. That's a significant drop, in case you didn't realize that.